Pol Science Chapter 2 Contemporary Centers of Power. यूरोपियन यूनियन सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के ख़त्म होते होते लीडर्स के दिमाग में एक क्वेश्चन घूमने लगा कि अब यूरोप का क्या होगा. ए, शुड यूरोप बी अलाउड टू रिवर्ट टू इट्स ओल्ड राइवलरीज, या फिर यूरोप को हम रिकंस्ट्रक्ट करेंगे ऑन प्रिंसिपल्स एंड इंस्टीट्यूशंस दैट वुड कंट्रीब्यूट टू अ पॉजिटिव कंसेप्शन ऑफ इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस. सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद 1945 में यूरोपियन स्टेट्स ने कन्फ्रंट किया द रूइन ऑफ इकोनॉमीज एंड द डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ द assumptions एंड स्ट्रक्चर्स जिसके ऊपर इतने दिनों तक यूरोप had been founded. अब European integration was aided by Cold War. America extended massive financial help for reviving its economy under Marshall Plan. US also created new collective security structure under NATO. 1948 में Organization for European Economic Cooperation QEEC was established under the Marshall Plan to channel aid. It became a forum where the Western European states began to cooperate on trade and economic issues. Next, 1949 में बना Council of Europe, which was a step forward in political cooperation. आगे चल के 1957 में बना European Economic Community, जो कि था integration of European capitalist countries. इसको आगे चल के और पॉलिटिकल रंग मिला विद द क्रिएशन ऑफ यूरोपियन पार्लियामेंट. 1992 में बना यूरोपियन यूनियन विद द कोलैप्स ऑफ सोवियत ब्लॉक. दस फाउंडेशन वाज लेड फॉर ए, कॉमन फॉरेन एंड सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी, बी, कोऑपरेशन ऑन जस्टिस एंड होम अफेयर्स, सी, क्रिएशन ऑफ अ सिंगल करेंसी. यूरोपियन यूनियन धीरे धीरे इकोनॉमिक यूनियन से आगे बढ़ के पॉलिटिकल वन हो गया. यूरोपियन यूनियन अब एक नेशन स्टेट की तरह बिहेव करने लगा. दो उनका जो प्लान था कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ यूरोपियन यूनियन बनाने का वो फेल हो गया, स्टिल दे हैड देयर ओन फ्लैग, एंथम, फाउंडिंग डेट, करेंसी. It also has some form of common foreign and security policy in its dealings with other nations. यूरोपियन यूनियन ने एरियाज ऑफ कोऑपरेशन को एक्सपैंड करने की कोशिश की वाइल एक्वायरिंग न्यू मेंबर्स, स्पेशली कहाँ से, सोवियत ब्लॉक से. ये प्रोसेस आसान नहीं रहा क्योंकि बड़े सारे कंट्रीज़ इस बात को उत्सुक नहीं थे कि यूरोपियन यूनियन को कुछ ऐसे पावर्स दे दिए जाए जो कि अदरवाइज कंट्री के गवर्नमेंट के पास है. यूरोपियन यूनियन में कुछ नए कंट्रीज को शामिल करने को लेके भी मतभेद रहा. यूरोपियन यूनियन के पास अपना इकोनॉमिक, पॉलिटिकल, डिप्लोमेटिक, मिलिट्री इन्फ्लुएंस है. यूरोपियन यूनियन इज द वर्ल्ड्स सेकंड बिगेस्ट इकोनॉमी विद अ जीडीपी ऑफ मोर देन $17 trillion in 2016, which was next to that of United States of America. Its currency euro can pose a threat to the dominance of the US dollar. Its share of world trade is much larger than that of the United States, allowing it to be more assertive in trade disputes with US and China. Its economic power gives it influence over its closest neighbors as well as in Asia and Africa. It also functions as an important bloc in international economic organizations such as World Trade Organization WTO. European Union also has political and diplomatic influence. European Union का एक member France holds permanent seat on the UN Security Council. European Union includes several non-permanent members of UNSC, जिससे कि वो बड़े सारे US policies को influence कर पाया. For example, current US position on Iran's nuclear program. It uses diplomacy, economic investment, negotiations rather than coercion, military force. और देखा गया है कि ये ज़्यादा effective रहा है. Example है dialogue with China on human rights and environmental degradation. Militarily, European Union का combined armed forces are the second largest in the world. Its total spending on defense is second after US. France के पास nuclear arsenals है of approximately 335 nuclear warheads. It is also world's second most important source of space and communications technology. As a supranational organization, European Union is able to intervene in economic, political, social areas. But in many areas, its member states have their own foreign relations and defense policies that are often at odds with each other. Thus, Britain's Prime Minister Tony Blair was America's partner in the Iraq invasion. Many of the European Union's newer members made up the US-led coalition of the willing, whereas Germany and France opposed American policy. There is also a deep-seated Euroscepticism in some parts of Europe about the European Union's integrationist agenda. For example, Britain's former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher kept the UK out of European market. Denmark and Sweden have resisted the Maastricht Treaty and the adoption of euro, the common European currency. This limits the ability of the European Union to act in matters of foreign relations and defense. Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Before and during the Second World War, this region of Asia suffered the economic and political consequences of repeated colonialism, both European and Japanese. War के खत्म होते ही it confronted problems like number 1, nation building, number 2, ravages of poverty, number 3, economic backwardness, number 4, pressure to align with one great power or another during the Cold War. ये सब एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट की रेसिपी थी जिसे कंट्रीज ऑफ साउथ ईस्ट एशिया अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकती थी. Efforts at Asian and Third World unity, such as the Bandung Conference non-aligned movement, were ineffective in establishing the conventions for informal cooperation and interaction. Thus, 1967 में establish हुआ ASEAN by 5 countries. कौन से? Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, by signing the Bangkok Declaration. ASEAN का प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्ट था to accelerate economic growth. इसी के थ्रू सोशल प्रोग्रेस एंड कल्चरल डेवलपमेंट भी हो जाएगा. इसमें एक सेकेंडरी ऑब्जेक्टिव था एंड दैट वाज टू प्रमोट रीजनल पीस, स्टेबिलिटी बेस्ड ऑन द रूल ऑफ लॉ and the principles of United Nations Charter. Over the years, Brunei Darussalam, Vietnam, Lao PDR, Myanmar Burma and Cambodia joined ASEAN, taking its strength to 10. Unlike the European Union, there is little desire in ASEAN for supranational structures and institutions. Asian countries have celebrated what has become known as the Asian Way, a form of interaction that is informal, non-confrontationist and cooperative. The respect for national sovereignty is critical to the functioning of ASEAN. With some of the fastest growing economies in the world, ASEAN broadened its objectives beyond the economic and social spheres. In 2003, ASEAN moved along the path of European Union by agreeing to establish an Asian community comprising 3 pillars, namely 1. Asian Security Community, 2. Asian Economic Community, 3. Asian Socio-Cultural Community. इसको अब थोड़ा डिटेल में समझते हैं. Number 1, the Asian Security Community was based on the conviction that outstanding territorial disputes should not escalate into armed confrontation. By 2003, ASEAN had several agreements in place by which member states promised to uphold peace, neutrality, cooperation, non-interference and respect for national differences and sovereign rights. The Asian Regional Forum ARF, which was established in 1994, is the organization that carries out coordination of security and foreign policy. Number 2, ASEAN Economic Community. देखा जाए तो ASEAN region as a whole is a much smaller economy compared to US, European Union, Japan, लेकिन इसकी इकोनॉमी जो है उन सबसे फास्ट ग्रो कर रही है. इससे क्या होगा, उसके ग्रोथ का इन्फ्लुएंस बढ़ेगा विद इन द रीजन एंड बियॉन्ड ऑल्सो. आसियन इकोनॉमिक कम्युनिटी का ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? ए, टू क्रिएट अ कॉमन मार्केट एंड प्रोडक्शन बेस विद इन द एशियन स्टेट. बी, टू एड सोशल एंड इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट इन द रीजन. इकोनॉमिक कम्युनिटी ये भी कोशिश करेगी कि कैसे वो इम्प्रूव कर सकती है द एग्जिस्टिंग एशियन डिस्प्यूट सेटलमेंट मैकेनिज्म टू रिजॉल्व इकोनॉमिक डिस्प्यूट्स. ASEAN has focused on creating a free trade area FTA for investment, labor, services. US and China have already moved fast to negotiate FTAs with ASEAN. एशियन काफ़ी रैपिडली ग्रो कर गया और एक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट रीजनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बन गया. Its Vision 2020 has defined an outward-looking role for ASEAN in the international community. This builds on the existing ASEAN policy to encourage negotiation over conflicts in the region. Example, ASEAN has mediated end of Cambodian conflict, East Timor crisis. ASEAN meets annually to discuss East Asian cooperation. Current economic strength of ASEAN, especially its economic relevance as a trading and investment partner to the growing Asian economies such as India, China, makes this an attractive proposition. Cold War के time पे Indian foreign policy did not pay adequate attention to ASEAN, but in recent years India has tried to make amends. कैसे? By signing trade agreements with 3 ASEAN members, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand. ASEAN-India FTA came into effect in 2010. ASEAN's strength, however, lies in its policies of interaction, consultation with member states, with dialogue partners, with other non-regional organizations. It is the only regional association in Asia that provides a political forum where Asian countries and the major powers can discuss political and security concerns. The rise of the Chinese economy. अब बात करेंगे चाइना की, जो कि है थर्ड मेजर ऑल्टरनेटिव सेंटर ऑफ पावर और हमारे इमीडिएट नेबर भी. 1978 के बाद से ही चाइनीज इकोनॉमी के सक्सेस की वजह से ये ग्रेट पावर तक पहुंच गया है. चाइना हैज़ बीन द फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग इकोनॉमी सिंस द रिफॉर्म्स फर्स्ट बिगैन देयर. माना जा रहा है कि बाई 2040 ये यूएस को भी ओवरटेक कर जाएगा and it will become the world's largest economy. Its economic integration into the region makes it the driver of East Asian growth, thereby giving it enormous influence in the regional affairs. चाइना का पावरफुल होने के पीछे रीजन सिर्फ इकोनॉमी नहीं है, अदर फैक्टर्स भी है, जैसे कि पॉपुलेशन, लैंड मास, रिसोर्सेज, रीजनल लोकेशन एंड पॉलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएंस. कम्युनिस्ट रेवोल्यूशन हुआ अंडर द लीडरशिप ऑफ माओ. उसके बाद 1949 में इंसेप्शन हुआ पीपल्स रिपब्लिक ऑफ चाइना का. तब इसकी इकोनॉमी वाज बेस्ड ऑन सोवियत मॉडल. अभी इकोनॉमिकली बैकवर्ड कम्युनिस्ट चाइना ने तय किया कि वो अपने सारे लिंक्स तोड़ देगा विद द कैपिटलिस्ट वर्ल्ड. ऐसा करने पे उसके पास और कोई चॉइस नहीं बचा बट टू फॉल बैक ऑन इट्स ओन रिसोर्सेज एंड थोड़े वक्त के लिए वो डिपेंडेंट हो गया ऑन सोवियत एड एंड इट्स एडवाइस. द मॉडल वाज टू क्रिएट अ स्टेट ओन्ड हेवी इंडस्ट्री सेक्टर फ्रॉम द कैपिटल एक्यूमुलेटेड फ्रॉम एग्रीकल्चर. जितना फॉरेन एक्सचेंज नीडेड था इन ऑर्डर टू बाय टेक्नोलॉजी एंड गुड्स ऑन द वर्ल्ड मार्केट, चाइना के पास उतना नहीं था. तो उसने क्या किया? China decided to substitute imports by domestic goods. This model allowed China to use its resources to establish the foundations of an industrial economy on a scale that did not exist before. China ने citizens को provide किया employment and social welfare. इसी तरह चाइना बड़े सारे डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज से आगे निकल गया in educating its citizens and ensuring better health for them. उनकी इकोनॉमी भी एक रिस्पेक्टेबल रेट से बढ़ रही थी, दैट वाज 5 to 6%. बट जैसे कि उनका एनुअल ग्रोथ ऑफ पॉपुलेशन था 2 to 3%, दैट मेंट कि इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ जिस रेट से चल रहा है वो सफिशिएंट नहीं है to meet the needs of the growing population. अब एग्रीकल्चरल प्रोडक्शन जो भी हो रही है that was not sufficient to generate a surplus for industries. इससे पहले यूएसएसआर में हमने देखा है कि स्टेट कंट्रोल्ड इकोनॉमी से क्राइसिस पैदा हुई. कुछ वैसा ही अब चाइना के साथ होने वाला है. चाइना का इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन was not growing fast enough. उसका इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड was minimal. पर कैपिटा इनकम भी very low. By 1970s, Chinese leadership ने major policy decisions लिया. By 1972, China ने finally end कर दिया political and economic isolation and नए सिरे से establish किया relations with the United States. 1973 में Premier Zhou Enlai ने propose किया 4 modernizations. क्या क्या? Number 1 agriculture, number 2 industry, number 3 science and technology, number 4 military. By 1978 तब के लीडर डेंग ज़ाओपिंग ने अनाउंस किया ओपन डोर पॉलिसी एंड इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म्स इन चाइना. पॉलिसी का उद्देश्य क्या था? टू जनरेट higher productivity by investment of capital and technology from abroad. China followed its own path in introducing a market economy. Chinese did not go for shock therapy but opened their market step by step. 1982 में privatization of agriculture हुआ, followed by 1998 में privatization of industry. Trade barriers were eliminated only in special economic zones (SEZs), where foreign investors could set up enterprises. In China, the state played and continues to play a central role in setting up a market economy. ये जो भी new economic policies चलाए गए, it all helped the Chinese economy to break from stagnation. Privatization of agriculture करते ही it led to remarkable rise in agricultural production and rural incomes. Rural economy में high personal savings होते ही it led to an exponential growth in rural industry. The Chinese economy, जो कि इंक्लूड करती है बोथ इंडस्ट्री एंड एग्रीकल्चर, grew at a faster rate. जो भी न्यू ट्रेडिंग लॉज बनाए गए एंड जो क्रिएशन हुआ ऑफ स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन्स, इट ऑल लेड टू अ फेनोमेनल राइज इन फॉरेन ट्रेड. चाइना बन चुका था मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट डेस्टिनेशन फॉर फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट (FDI) एनीवेयर इन द वर्ल्ड. चाइना के पास अब था लार्ज फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व्स, जिससे कि वो बड़े बड़े इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकता था इन अदर कंट्रीज. 2001 में चाइना का accession to the WTO has been a further step in its opening to the outside world. The country now plans to deepen its integration into the world economy and shape the future world economic order. Chinese economy dramatically improved जरूर हुई, मगर इन रिफॉर्म्स का फ़ायदा हर एक चाइनीज़ व्यक्ति तक नहीं पहुंचा. अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बहुत बढ़ गई. Nearly 100 million people were looking for jobs. यूरोप का जो हाल था 18th and 19th सेंचुरी में, अब यहाँ भी फीमेल एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड कंडीशंस ऑफ वर्क का वैसा ही हाल हो गया. एनवायरमेंटल डिग्रेडेशन हो गया, करप्शन बहुत बढ़ गया, इकोनॉमिक इनइक्वालिटी देखने को मिला बिटवीन रूरल एंड अर्बन रेसिडेंट्स एंड कोस्टल एंड इनलैंड प्रोविंसेस. ये सब अगर साइड कर दे तो regionally and globally also, China has become an economic power to reckon with. Integration of China's economy and the interdependencies that this has created has enabled China to have considerable influence with its trade partners. Hence, उसके जो भी issues चल रहे थे जापान, US, ASEAN, रशिया, इनके साथ ये सब टेम्पर हो गए by economic considerations. China ताइवान के साथ अपने डिफरेंसेस जो है वो रिजॉल्व करना चाहता है एज इट रिगार्ड्स इट एज अ रेनिगेड प्रोविंस, जिसको वो इंटीग्रेट करना चाहता है क्लोजली इनटू इट्स ओन इकोनॉमी. फियर्स ऑफ चाइनाज राइज, इसको भी उसने मिटिगेट कर दिया बाय कंट्रीब्यूशन टू द स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ आसियन इकोनॉमीज आफ्टर द 1997 का फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस. चाइना का आउटवर्ड लुकिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड इट्स एड पॉलिसीज इन लैटिन अमेरिका, अफ्रीका are increasingly projecting it as a global player on the side of developing economies. India-China relation को समझते हैं. India and China were great powers in Asia before the advent of Western imperialism. China had considerable influence and control on the periphery of its borders based on its unique tributary system. At different times in China's long history of dynastic rule, Mongolia, Korea, parts of Indochina and Tibet accepted China's authority. Various kingdoms and empires in India also extended their influence beyond their borders. In both the cases, ये जो influence था, ये political, economic, cultural, सब मिला के था. However, the regions where India and China exercised influence rarely ever overlapped. Thus, there was limited political and cultural interaction between the two. The result was that neither country was very familiar with the other. In the 20th century, when both nations confronted each other, they had some difficulty evolving a foreign policy to deal with. After India regained its independence from Britain and China expelled the foreign powers, there was hope that both would come together to shape the future of the developing world and of Asia particularly. थोड़े समय के लिए हिंदी चीनी भाई भाई का नारा पॉपुलर था. However, military conflict over a border dispute between the two countries marred that hope. Soon after independence, both states were involved in differences arising from the Chinese takeover of Tibet in 1950 and the final settlement of the Sino-Indian border. 1962 में भी China and India were involved in border conflict over competing territorial claims principally in Arunachal Pradesh and in Aksai Chin region of Ladakh. 1962 के कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में जहां इंडिया सफर्ड मिलिट्री रिवर्सेस, इट हैड लॉन्ग टर्म implications for India-China relationships. 1976 तक डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस बिटवीन टू कंट्रीज वर डाउनग्रेडेड. उसके बाद धीरे धीरे इम्प्रूव हुआ. आफ्टर द चेंज इन चाइना's political leadership from the mid to late 1970s, China's policy became more pragmatic, less ideological. So now it was prepared to put off the settlement of contentious issues while improving relations with India. 1981 में तो a series of talks भी initiate किया गया to resolve the border issues. End of Cold War के बाद से there have been significant changes in India-China relations. Their relations now have a strategic as well as economic dimension. Both view themselves as rising powers in global politics. Both would like to play a major role in Asian economy and politics. December 1988 में राजीव गांधी का चाइना दौरा provided the impetus for an improvement in India-China relations. Since then, both governments have taken measures to contain conflict and maintain peace and tranquility on the border. They have also signed agreements on cultural exchanges and cooperation in science, technology, and opened 4 border posts for trade. With India-China trade growing at 30% per year since 1999, a more positive perspective on relations with China has emerged. Bilateral trade between India and China has increased from $338 million in 1992 to more than $84 billion in 2017. More recently, both countries have agreed to cooperate with each other in areas that could otherwise create conflict between the two, such as bidding for energy deals abroad. At the global level, India and China have adopted similar policies in international economic institutions like the World Trade Organization. India's nuclear tests in 1998 इसको जस्टिफाई किया जाता है कई बार on the grounds of a threat from China. It did not stop greater interaction. It is true that China was seen as contributing to building up of Pakistan's nuclear program. China's military relations with Bangladesh and Myanmar were viewed as hostile to Indian interests in South Asia. However, इन सारे इशू से दोनों देशों के बीच में कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं हुआ and talks to resolve the boundary question have continued without interruption and military to military cooperation increase होता रहा है. Indian and Chinese leaders and officials visit करते हैं बीजिंग को या न्यू दिल्ली में ग्रेटर फ्रीक्वेंसी के साथ या आपस में बातचीत करने की फेमिलियरिटी बढ़ाने की कोशिश करते रहते हैं. इंक्रीजिंग ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एंड कम्युनिकेशन लिंक्स, common economic interest and global concerns should help establish a more positive and sound relationship between the two most populous countries in the world. Lekin recently, relations between the two countries has taken downslide. Kyun? Border dispute, China-Pakistan economic corridor, and China's support to Pakistan in UN against India's move to counter-terrorism are some of the factors. Japan. कुछ फेमस जापानीज ब्रांड्स के नाम हैं सोनी, पैनासोनिक, कैनन, सुजुकी, होंडा, टोयोटा, माज्दा. They have a reputation for making high technology products. Japan has very few natural resources and imports most of its raw materials. Even then, it progressed rapidly after the end of Second World War. Japan became a member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD) in 1964. In 2017, it is the third largest economy in the world. It is the only Asian member of the G7. It is the 11th most populous nation in the world. Japan is the only nation that suffered the destruction caused by nuclear bombs. It is the second largest contributor to the regular budget of the UN, contributing almost 10% of the total. Japan has a security alliance with the US since 1951. As per Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution, the Japanese people forever renounce war as a sovereign right of the nation and the threat or use of force as means of settling international disputes. Although Japan's military expenditure is only 1% of its GDP, it is the seventh largest in the world. South Korea. The Korean peninsula was divided into South Korea, that is Republic of Korea, and North Korea, that is Democratic People's Republic of Korea, at the end of the Second World War along the 38th parallel. The Korean War during 1950-53 and dynamics of the Cold War era further intensified the rivalries between the two sides. Both the Koreas finally became members of the UN on 17 September 1991. Meanwhile, South Korea emerged as a center of power in Asia. Between the 1960s and 1980s, it rapidly developed into an economic power which is termed as Miracle on the Han River. Signaling its all-round development, South Korea became a member of the OECD in 1996. In 2017, its economy is the 11th largest in the world and its military expenditure is the 10th largest. According to the Human Development Report 2016, the HDI rank of South Korea is 18. The major factors responsible for its high human development include successful land reforms, rural development, extensive human resource development, rapid equitable economic growth. Other factors are export orientation, strong redistribution policies, public infrastructure development, effective institutions and governance. South Korean brands such as Samsung, LG, Hyundai have become renowned in India. Numerous agreements between India and South Korea signify their growing commercial and cultural ties.